Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the major LS-28-25 package of 25 machine screws. I have one removed from the packaging. It is a 25 pack, and that's what it looks like. This is a standard number 10 undercut Phillips flathead that has a 1224 thread. So what this is a confluence of either a standard thread size, well, it's a standard number 10 head on the screw. However, it's not a number 10 body, it's a number 12 body. Rather than it being 1024 threads, it's 1224. Now where would you use this? Very commonly, you're going to use this when you have damage to a 1024 machine screw on a installation, on a hinge installation. And the problem with the hinge installation is that the threads are damaged, worn out, and the screw is literally sloppy within the space. So what you can do with that situation is simply use a screw with a larger diameter body. Let's take some dimensional properties, and then we'll go back and talk about where you might use this. Overall length, basically about 7/8. This has a number 10 head, undercut. So it's a number 10 size flathead, and then it's undercut. That's the flattened off area here. Very typical when you see machine screws, or screws for strikes as well. Let me take that back. Probably not strikes. Hinge screws is what I'm thinking. This also has a thread forming feature to it, where someone might be really tempted to just take that and drive that into the prep. You can see right here. It's a bit difficult to see, but I'll show you a photograph of it. Camera just isn't focusing on the tip of that screw. Let's talk about where specifically you will use this and what will arise that you'll use it. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. So the screw is literally going to be used in a residential application where you have what might be called a pressed steel frame and a metal edge, a metal clad door. Sometimes it would be known as a trooper door. Metal clad, 6-panel flush, whatever it is, meaning it's a wood foam core and there's a thin sheet of steel over the face. Those doors can have wood edge and those doors can have steel edge. You get to a point where screws get loose on the hinge. And now the door doesn't close really well. And when the door doesn't close really well, there's a fork in the road. Repair it so it closes well, or continue to use it to the point where it degrades and degrades and degrades, and damage to the hardware gets worse and worse and worse. And sometimes that damage is literally a hole, as I had explained earlier, ovalized, too large, the threads are damaged, and not real easy to solve that when it's in the jam. In a door, in a wood door application, sometimes what people will do will just sink a deeper, longer screw into it, like even a drywall screw some people will use. But in a steel frame that has a drilled and tapped hole, it's not really an option. This screw will solve that, and actually it'll likely solve it for a decade, if not longer, and it will solve it very, very quickly. I would not rely on that tip to form those threads. I would drill it out with the proper size. Do not quote me, but 13/64 might be the right size diameter drill bit for a 1224 thread, and then I would tap that hole, and then I would put that machine screw into it. The reason the number 10 head is nice to maintain that is because the hinge is prepped for a number 10, not for a number 12. That's why that is. Let's switch to the screen view and let's take a closer look at some supporting information. If you are enjoying this video, please click thumbs up or like, and also please consider subscribing to our channel. Let's move on to the rest of the video. Okay, here's the item that we are looking at. Let's take a look at some images that we have posted here first. There's the packaging. Let's go back. Number 10 Phillips flat undercut machine screw, 1224 thread cutting, thread forming, thread cutting, number 1 point. Number 1 point, I don't really know what they mean, number 1 point. Nickel plated. Your package of 25. The screw, you can see the undercut nature of the head. I would say that's a number 2 Phillips drive. And then that thread cutting. Right there. That tapered leading tip to the screw. Could you drive that through there? Yes. Probably work. I would drill and tap it. Oops. Okay, now let's take a look at the extended description information. Machine screw for hinges and strikes on steel doors and frames. Nickel plated. These are special machine screws when replacing stripped out hinge or strike screw mounted in a steel or aluminum door or frame. I can't think of a strike that takes a 1024. 832 makes sense for those. 1224 makes sense for those. The screw has a standard number 10 head, 1224 body, which is larger than a 1024. Hardened, it has a number 1 thread cutting point for easy installation. The number 1 must have a reference to that cutting feature to the tip of the screw. Overall length is 7/8. And again, nickel plated is what this is. When you buy one, you'll be getting a package of 25. Awesome. That's all it is. We've talked about the description. We've talked about where you'd use it. Let's take a look at the product brochure. This is going to be a list of other screws available from Major. They have their LSA-1. That's a pretty handy kit. I can't say that you're going to end up using all of these different fasteners. It depends on the business that you're in. But if you're an active locksmith and integrating clients' hardware and repairing it, upgrading it, making sure it continues to work happily, you might use the majority of it. Combination replacement screws are listed here. An LS3 assortment. You can see the contents or the bill of material of this. Your 28 and 29s, packaged in 25 and 100s. The only difference here is the finish, nickel plated or black. Okay. Self-drilling screws are here with drilling points. Those are really typical. This is the most common fastener that will sell. Putting in continuous hinges, people aren't going to take their time to drill all those holes. They're going to use a number 3 driver in their screw gun and just zip those in. That's how that's done. Wood screws, these are going to have a number 12 head with a size 14 body. That's if you are having the same trouble with a commercial grade size hinge and a wood door. You'd want a greater body diameter. Machine screws for latches and strikes, stripped out again. A number 8 size head with a 1032 thread. Same concept. Now, there's a link below this video, as seen here, to the manufacturer's page. When you click on that, you're going to be able to pull up not only all of the major products we sell by means of this horizontal navigation as seen here, but also a link to the manufacturer's website, as well as a link to the full product catalog here. And from here, you'll be able to take a look at that catalog, and the first half of it is security hardware. It is those screws that we were looking at. And there's a variety of other security devices, sliding door locks, filing cabinet locks, tools used in the locksmith industry, items to allow you to incorporate security devices onto your clients' doors. Then the second half of the catalog is all fixtures, templates, jigs, lock installation aids, and a variety of different derivatives. Let's wrap up this video on camera. If you've not hit subscribe yet, we would very much appreciate if you did, and hopefully you're enjoying this video. Now, let's get back to it. Now, in conclusion, if you have any questions on this LS-28-25 or any other major product, please feel free to reach out to us. They are in this business, there are some vendors that are just really unique in the sense that they offer stuff that you really don't end up getting from other people. And the other company that I think of as unique is Adams Wright. Sometimes I use their catalog as a idea book, a means by which to solve problems for clients, because they have so many unusual pieces of hardware that clients end up finding ways to Frankenstein or hybrid into unusual situations. And Major is like that as well, where they have a lot of parts that you say, boy, I don't need that today, but I'm sure glad to know it's there. Bookmark that catalog and refer back to it. Any questions on the LS-28-25 package of screws or any other major product, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you. Thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, please click thumbs up, please subscribe, and maybe even send the video to someone that you know. Thank you.